lost in my thoughts, but glad to be back.
Yes, you need me? Captain?
You got my undivided attention.
Ready for takeoff in 3, 2, 1, go! Jump.
Welcome to UC Space.
Want to do it
Maintain
again,
your
just
current
for
course
fun?
while we scan your ship's cargo.
No? Maybe later.
Scan complete. Welcome to Mars. You are cleared to land at Sidonia.
Hello.
Crew have been compromised. Do not repeat. Not board. This is Sirak on the Starfield Oracle. We are anomalous readings. Crew have been compromised. Do not repeat. Not board. This is Sirak on the Starfield Oracle. We are anomalous readings. Crew have been compromised. Do not repeat. Not board.
Fascinate me.
This is Sirak on the Starfield Oracle. We are
What did you need?
anomalous readings.
Finally, I've been waiting.
Luck will not be necessary, but thank you just the same.
Not board.
Need a hand with something? Yes, I am always. That is all? Very well.
I cannot give up.
Hopefully these low temperatures do not interfere with our electronics.
Hold on. You are strong. Concentrate. I'm trying, Surak, but it's getting worse. I can feel my mind slipping. Fragmented. I'll become one of them. You have to get away from me. No, I will not leave you here. It's pointless. We share this fate. This is our end. The great. No. No, it's happening. Run, run. I can't stop it. Shira.
Yes, we are triumphant.
What happened? Who did this?
Always worth checking. Never know what you might find in their pockets.
But how? turns against me, I must return to engineering and make one last attempt to restore the power.
curious. I know that your role in Constellation was thrust upon you in an unusual way. But that experience does not demand that you stay. You could have delivered the artifact and then left. Why do you stay? It does seem to be a unique situation with serious consequences. That is what keeps me here as well. My past is complicated. And anyone in Constellation will tell you I do not speak much of it. But my family always stressed the importance of having a purpose in life. You must have a reason for being. This group of people, who by rights would never associate with one another, has come together for a common cause. That is impressive on its own, before considering the magnitude of the work they have undertaken. The possibilities it holds. Fun is not a consideration. I am not saying I am incapable of it, it just should never be a priority over other things. When I first came to New Atlantis, I was shocked at how many people go about their business every day like drones. They do their jobs, eat their food, sleep in their beds, all seemingly without concern for anything around them. Complacent. Their experience is so different from much of the settled systems. They do not know how good they have it. You believe I am too quick to judge. Perhaps that is so. Purpose cuts through adversity. I know that all too well. And these people seem to have no idea. I have. There have been times where I wondered whether it was worth it. My family is unique within the settled systems. I grew up outside the bounds of the United Colonies, or the Freestar Collective. My parents, and their parents before them, did not believe anyone outside our family could be trusted or relied upon. You can imagine, I am sure, how existence without ties to others is challenging in space. They believed, and still do, that anyone who was not part of our family did not share our values, our goals, and was ultimately a potential threat. My time in the settled systems has mostly led me to agree with them. It has certainly proven valuable. Saved me. A few times, without question. For now, though, it would seem you and I have found purpose in Constellation. I believe that is enough. That's simple. It can be. we are discovered.
Rakvetal. Post-incident log. Something has gone horribly wrong. We were in orbit directly above Dazra, monitoring our current experiments when we experienced a sudden energy surge. I fear the source came from the city itself. It triggered our graph drive and jumped the Oracle to an unknown location. We thought members of the crew were somehow lost in the jump. But later, we were attacked by what I will refer to as Vortex Phantoms. I thought I recognized some of them. Could it be that the energy surge has somehow transformed them and warped their minds?
You have my attention. If there's anything you need, I am happy to share. Until next time. Best not to leave anything useful behind.
Jack Vetal. Post-incident log. After the initial jump, areas of the Oracle have somehow been sectioned off by strange energy fields or barriers. The fields allow no one to pass and are somehow able to repel, almost teleport, the trespasser back. I am certain these new fields are related to the Vortex Phantoms. Both resonate with the same energy pattern. The exact same pattern we were studying for Anasco's experiments. Something happened in Dasra. And if the situation is bad here, I fear for our brethren in the city.
Yes? If I can take a few things, I will. Ah, yes, we are done. supply. We need to get past these crates somehow. Anything of value? The mission appears to have outweighed any considerations for privacy.
Iraq vessel. Post-incident log. The Oracle has continued to jump. It is completely out of our control. Not only that, but I believe the initial surge of energy we experienced is transformative. With each passing day, more of the crew succumb to whatever residual energy we were exposed to. Most are instantly hostile, but we discovered some are able to retain a sense of self. At least, momentarily.
Spoils of victory. Hopefully they amount to something.
gravity may pull the cell into place. If I can get to the control room, if I can No! They are coming!
I'm hit!
This is Sirac Vital. Post-incident log. I am one of the few remaining unaffected crew on the Oracle. Nadine, Basira, and Taras are the only others I was able to find. I fear it is just a matter of time before we succumb to this energy that is turning the others. How long will we last? And will my mind be strong enough to hold out when my time comes? Basira and I have programmed the Oracle to return to Varun Kai's orbit once it is able. All of our research will automatically be transmitted the moment we are within Dasra's range. I pray our work here was not in vain.
Damn controls! Why will they not respond to me? Work, damn you!
Warning. Gravity procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Restoring gravity in 3, 2, 1.
winner takes all this stiff phrase, is it not?
Power cell connected. Report to operations for system reboot.
The Vortex Phantoms. Where did they go? Something is wrong. No! Not now! I have to hold on!
My leg! Great!
Mainframe reboot initiated. Commencing protocol. Station lockdown completed. All major systems on standby. Mainframe reboot completed. Warning, station jump procedure initiated. Please check your surroundings to ensure personal safety. Jump in 3, 2, 1. Execute. Jump completed. Station lockdown released. Initiating data transfer.
What is it? All right. then.
Incoming transmission.
This is Dasra calling the Oracle Station. We've received your transmission. Your orders are to send a representative down here immediately. It appears we have much to discuss.
Poor Sirac. So close to seeing their efforts realized. What did you need? Yes, of course. Honestly, I cannot answer that. So many years have been driven by survival in intense circumstances. leisure time it's been in short supply. And I suppose I have conditioned myself to not think about it much. I do enjoy combat training, though I suppose that is hardly the answer you're looking for. You have given me something to consider. Thank you for that. Goodbye. Is something amiss? Is that it, then?
Need my help?
If something's on your mind, you can tell me. Always. Point the...
Ms. Morgan, I shall be here if you need me.
It's actually comforting to know that, Androsia. Thank you.
Dusty.
Did you need something? What have you got for me? Right.
Let me guess. I'd be happy to get... Talk to you again soon, darling.
Yes, you need me?
goods detached. We're clear.
Good to go for landing.
Hold very still and choose your words carefully. They will determine how long you live.
Let's all just take a moment. I assure you, we mean you no harm.
You have no right to be here. You will tell me how you found this place. No signal should have left this system. But the Oracle was lost.
It was deemed necessary at the time. We will reevaluate that decision in light of what has happened. Forrest, I think we need not fear our guest. Perhaps, in this time of need, the Great Serpent has delivered us a gift.
Counselor, with due respect, we have not had unannounced visitors here in generations. It is a clear breach of security.
I do not disagree, and I know that security, in whatever small form we can grasp it, is of paramount importance. But you must acknowledge the timing is curious. And perhaps our guest's intent should be determined before we take further action. We received the automated transmission, but you are certainly not who we expected to find.
Great Serpent!
What's happening again?
Hear me?
Speaker, we are here!
We have reached out to you to seek guidance in our hour of need. The gate in the Citadel has been opened just to seek you.
It's like what we saw on the station.
Have I failed you? What is this place? Where am I? Why do you not show yourself? I strive only to follow your command. All must serve. Oh, Great Serpent. Is that you? Is it your presence I feel? I feel something, yet I see nothing. Is this a test? What do you require of me? Great Serpent, I have done all that I can. The Scaled Citadel itself has been transformed to petition you. I know that all must serve, but I need more. I require guidance. Take pity on us and reveal the way forward.
Our leader, Anasko Varun, he has appeared like this over and over. So many of our people have been trapped in this state, these vortex phantoms. But usually they are hostile and lash out. Anasko is different. If only we could hear his voice, some reassurance that all is not lost. I am not able to go into detail. There was an experiment, an accident. Many of our people left in a similar state. While most are hostile, Anasko is... The Great Serpent spared him that fate. He's different. If only we could communicate with him. What do you mean? Despite the sightings, none have heard the word from Anasko in all this time, yet you claim to? Do not toy with me. Not about this. If you speak truth, you must prove it. What did he say? Serpent.
Are you quite sure? I was right here and I didn't hear a thing.
It is hard to believe, and yet... Access to the Citadel was restricted. Even if you knew of its existence, you could not have known what went on inside. Truly, you did hear Anasko. You have been chosen. People of House Varun, hear me! We have asked the Great Serpent for deliverance from our calamity, and he has answered us. This outsider has been chosen as the most unlikely vessel for the Great Serpent's divine providence, and he will help save us all. Outsider, please. There is no denying you have been sent here as a sign. You must help us. But there are precepts that must be followed, principles that must be obeyed. Even in these dire circumstances, we cannot turn from Jinan Varun's teachings. You will be granted safe passage through Dazra and the lands beyond. No harm will come to you. On that, you have my word. You even have my assurance that your compatriot here will also remain unharmed. But to truly aid us, you must become part of House Varun. This is not a thing done lightly, and it cannot be taken back. Will you commit to helping us by becoming one of the promised? Well, efforts to do something, anything about our current dilemma have fallen to political infighting. I believe your arrival, if nothing else, represents a sign from the Great Serpent himself that we must finally put aside our differences and work together. It must be ordained that you would appear before us now, able to hear the speaker, when no one else can. You must mean the Zealots. I assure you, they do not represent House Faroon. We do not engage with the settled systems. They would attack us just as soon as you or anyone else. And they would certainly never extend an offer to join them, as I do now in this time of desperation. So, will you? We, the people of House Faroon, are the promised. The Great Serpent has blessed us with knowledge of the future and our place in it. Our service to him guarantees us a place in the new worlds he will create when he returns to enshroud the universe. A greater gift could not be bestowed upon you. The Serpent has brought us all here together for a reason. We cannot, must not, fight what is ordained. I understand that this is a great deal to absorb. Please take a moment to think it over. But House Faroon cannot wait forever. I remain hopeful that the Serpent... Will you join House Faroon? The Serpent has brought us all here. I understand.
Whatever you need, you've got it. No, it's fine. Absolutely. Sona is clever, and she's proven that she can tackle anything life throws in her path. You can rest assured that she will get the best education and care that Constellation can possibly provide. You know, Sona and I share an interesting bond. We both survived on that inhospitable world, and it drastically altered our lives. Most importantly, though, I'm certain we're both stronger after the experience. Stay safe, darling. Well, well. Back for more, eh? It's reassuring to know that I have you by my side. Oh, I feel like I can take on the world. If it keeps us close, then I'll gladly say those words
I remain hopeful that the Serpent has guided your thoughts, as he guides us all. Have you reconsidered? Will you join House Faroon, become one of the promised, and deliver us from this crisis? Excellent. Please, come with me. Forgive me for not introducing myself. I am Malibor Dulkev, a member of the High Council of House Faroon. I have been asked to represent the Council in this moment. Please, enter our city. You have my word that you will not be harmed. I would ask that until you have become promised, you avoid the citizens of Dasra. They are not used to outsiders. Open the gate! I must tell you what I revealed for now, but surely you saw the scaled citadel as you arrived. It was the center of an explosion of sorts that has annihilated most of our city. We have lost many of our brothers and sisters. I believe we are still in danger.
Counselor, what is the meaning of this?
Is there a problem, Makula?
The city is in shambles. The speaker is missing, and here you are leading some outsider through our sacred space? Why allow this husk to defile our city? Have we not lost enough?
Have faith. I believe this outsider was guided here by the Great Serpent himself. Soon, serpent willing, they will be one of us. But I can be sure and pass your concerns on to the rest of the High Council, if you wish. I apologize for the interruption. There is a ritual intended for converts to the Promised that has not been performed in generations. We are fortunate that there are those still alive who remember the old ways and have remained prepared for such a moment as this. Herald Inaza, I suspected we might find you here waiting.
I saw the ship landing. I knew immediately that I would be needed.
Indeed you are. This is Inaza Kaisir, Herald of the Serpent. She will guide you through the ritual. I am needed elsewhere, but I assure you that you are in good hands.
So, the Great Serpent sends you to me. Know, Husk, that to walk the Serpent's path, to enter the sacred cave, there is no turning back. You will be forever changed. This is a path you must walk of your own free will, alone. Will you step forward and emerge anointed, one of the Promised? A lesson, a test, a moment for the Great Serpent to reach out and fill you with something more than what you have been. Those born to House Faroon spend every day surrounded by our history. The rituals that separate us from the husks happen naturally over time. You have not experienced that. Those who have not answered the Serpent's call cannot coexist with House Faroon. And so, if you are to aid us in our time of need, you must become one of the Promised. You have not been filled with purpose by the Great Serpent, so you are merely a husk. But perhaps not for long. Then enter, and I shall guide you along the Serpent's path. But this is a journey you must undertake alone. Your escort cannot follow.
I'm not exactly a fan of splitting up, but I'm also not eager to offend. You'll just have to tell me all about it afterwards.
The path lies before you, but it is up to you to walk it. A difficult question. The original converts were accepted in the years after House Faroon first made contact with the settled systems. Once the Serpent's crusade began, there were fears that anyone from the outside could be spies, infiltrators. And after the crusade, few were eager to join. When Jinan Varun's son Jarek took power, we pulled back, rejected contact with non-believers. We removed any avenues for converts to find us. There were those among us who hoped that one day we might help others see the light of the Great Serpent's teachings. And if we can survive our current situation, your presence here now might sway opinions on future converts. I carry on the traditions that Jinan Varun began and maintain our people's connection to the Great Serpent. I and others like me look after the temples and offer guidance to those who need it. And now, it seems I am called upon to help the Serpent's call fill a new vessel. Truly, I am blessed. The Serpent's path will... After that, it has served more than... For a brief time, it was home. That ended up.
Farewell.
You must... I will await you at the end of the Serpent's path. Let the Great Serpent forever guide you.
First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. One particular colony ship housed several hundred of these souls. They were each alone and isolated. Individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice. But Jinan Varun encountered the Great Serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. Followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. And thus, House Varun was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens, to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back. The people's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the Great Serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House Varun to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the Great Serpent, and he will embrace you.
The people of House Varun settled this world, at first in these very caves. Jinan Varun himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent. It was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of their place in the universe. And it was here that the people of House Varun first understood the truth of the shrouding. The great serpent's return. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. You must walk the path. Go on and continue to fulfill your holy purpose. Before House Varun, there were humans. First on Earth, then scattered among the stars. One particular colony ship housed several hundred of these souls. And like all humans, they were lost souls, wandering in the dark, looking for a path. They were each alone and isolated, individual tiny flames that could be snuffed out at a moment's notice. Jinan encountered the great serpent and was given the gift of knowledge. He shared his knowledge with those around him and lit the way for them. They followed his guidance and his light, and they cast aside the burdens of their former lives. And thus, House Varun was born. Now you too have the chance to cast aside your burdens, to relieve yourself of anything that holds you back.
People's hopes and fears and dreams were entrusted to the Great Serpent. They made the leap of faith that brought House Faroon to greatness. You may now follow in their footsteps and take that same leap. Embrace the Great Serpent, and he will embrace you. The people of House Faroon settled this world, at first in these very caves. Jinan Faroon himself slept among them in these shelters. It was here that he spread the word of the serpent, and it was here that the people of House Faroon first understood the truth of the shrouding, the Great Serpent's return. It was here that the people of House Faroon first understood the truth of their place in the universe. He will encircle the universe he created, and all those who do not follow will be cast into shadow. And the people weighed this knowledge against their former lives, and saw how they had been blessed despite the difficult new life that awaited them. You too would do well to feel that solace amidst the pain. Until that day comes, we are the voice and the hands of the Great Serpent. Our every act a sacrifice to hasten his return. Make now a sacrifice to prove your devotion. And remember, whether in life or in death, all must serve. Let us begin the final ritual. While none since Jinan Faroon have stood before the Great Serpent, we can all feel his presence. To solidify his bond, you are presented with a simple choice. Before you on this dais are several items. They represent different aspects of House Faroon's connection to the Great Serpent. Pick the two that call to you. Place them on the altars. Offerings to the Great Serpent that he may fill you with his spirit and make you promise.
And so you arise, one of the promised of House Varun. Did you feel the great serpent working within you? Do you feel born anew? Your devotion and strength will bring glory to the Great Serpent and to House Varun. I grant you the title of Harbinger. All will know you. All will trust you. Above us, in the Grand Ship Morning, jewel of the Varun fleet, the High Council awaits your arrival. Serve them. Serve the Great Serpent. All must serve. You have walked the path, and now... Yes, its final resting place is directly above. It was Jinan Varun's guidance that led us to this. And after the Serpent's crusade, when the... You are promised. You are one. As the first converts in a very long time, it is a very particular honor at that. For the moment, the Council is awaiting your arrival. Let the Great Serpent forever guide you.
Did you need something? Welcome, Harbinger. You stand before what remains of the High Council, advisors to Nasco Varun. We are all that is left after the disaster that has befallen our people. I represent House Dulkef. Jamal is from House Kadik, and we are joined by Lovek of House Vital. We are, all of us, hopeful that your arrival in Dazra and your clear connection to Nasco Varun, for the first time in weeks, represent some semblance of hope. Collectively, we unite under the banner of House Varun, pledged to follow Jinan Varun and his descendants. But our society is not a monolith. Jinan, in his wisdom, shepherded the first of us into families that we might grow and prosper. Our three families have for generations now helped to govern the people of House Varun, and offer counsel to our leader. But you do. We have only seen brief glimpses of him since the incident. But you heard him speak. How can that be taken as anything other than providence? Please, just allow us a moment to explain.
By all means, Malabor. I can't wait to see how you spin this.
Please, can we just for a moment...
Can we just for a moment what? Discuss whether or not to allow the first convert to House Varun since before any of us were born? A bit late on that, it seems.
You were not there. You did not see Anasco. It felt different. We have already wasted so much time and...
You're correct. I was not there. Because you elected to travel to the spaceport on your own. And then decided this on your own.
Do not waste time with more bickering. Anasco, and by extension House Varun, suffers with every passing moment.
Of course, Lovek. My apologies. Please, Malabor, do go on.
Anasco Varun, like his father before him, has relied on the teachings of Jinan to guide us. Anasco wondered if perhaps it was time to seek guidance directly from the Great Serpent, and so sought a means of reaching out.
Perhaps he found the teachings inadequate.
Careful, Kadik. You tread on dangerous ground.
I mean nothing by it. We simply were never consulted on the matter and do not know the full motive.
The point is that a series of experiments have taken place over the years, utilizing grav drive technology to hopefully make direct contact with the Great Serpent, similar to Jinan Varun's initial meeting.
And then something went wrong.
We do not know what happened. We were not inside the Scaled Citadel at the time.
Had we been, we wouldn't be standing here now. We'd be like the rest of them.
A great tide of energy emanated from the Scaled Citadel and swept across Dasra. Much was destroyed in its wake. Those caught in the blast have been left in a state of confusion, trapped halfway between our universe and the Vortex. The Citadel itself remains in such a state. Right there and yet beyond our reach. We can only assume that the experiment is still running, somehow preventing us from entering the Citadel. We cannot get in, so we cannot stop it. We're beginning to lose hope before you arrived. Forgive me, I am no scientist, but as it has been explained to me, what we call the Vortex is the space between universes. It has only been a few weeks. There had been efforts to put together some kind of response, some plan. But they had fallen apart. Your arrival and your interaction with Anasco shows that he can still be saved. plan had been devised to access the Citadel, but the work stalled. Clearly, it is time to move forward with it. The current head of our science team, Ekris, should be in Jinan Plaza down below us, towards the Citadel. Tell him about your experience with Anasco, and that work on the morning device must proceed.
You would speak with me? Yes? Did you require something? Indeed, Serac was my cousin. I know they were assigned to the Oracle, and Malabor relayed their final report sent by the station. They walk with the Great Serpent now. The Oracle's fate will be tabled for a future discussion. We have more important issues at hand. 87 souls reside with the Great Serpent now. Many were some of the finest scientific minds House Varun had to offer. They will be remembered alongside those we lost here in Dasra. Of course. Oh, it was breathtaking. A true testament to the will of Jinan Varun and our faith in the Great Serpent. To have started from nothing, and to have accomplished so much, I pray to the Serpent that we can someday reclaim all that we have lost. I was outside the city, visiting a friend at his farm. We saw the flash of light from inside, and by the time we made it outside, you know, in that moment, I worried it was my fault. That I had somehow not been faithful enough, that I had not believed. I still find myself worrying that we are being punished. That we have affronted the Great Serpent in some way. And that this is our penance.
Greetings, Harbinger.
Good to see you. Something I can do for you? Don't take it personally. We have been through so much these last few weeks. The Council is attempting to claw back some semblance of order from the chaos, steer things past this somehow. And then Malabor goes and throws you into the middle of all this without even consulting us. It's just one more breach of a protocol that barely exists anymore. I am over it, I assure you. It is good to have you with us, and we are finally moving forward. No, it's complicated. Jinan Varun himself established the rules. Let me see if I can make it easy for you. The Speaker has supreme authority. He is the voice of the Great Serpent. The houses each handle some function of daily life and are individually run by the Elder of the House. Each of the houses also appoints a mediary to the High Council to inform and advise the Speaker. It's a separate position from the Elder, with a lesser degree of authority and prestige. Perhaps. It keeps the Speaker free to concentrate on the larger issues, while allowing us some amount of control over our lives. Don't take... We have been through so much. And then Malabor, I am over it. No, it's complicated. Jinan Varun himself established the rules. Let me see if I can make it easy for you. The Speaker has supreme authority. He is the voice of the Great Serpent. The houses each handle some function of daily life and are individually run by the Elder of the House. Each of the houses also appoints a mediary to the High Council to inform and advise the Speaker. It's a separate position from the Elder, with a lesser degree of authority and prestige. Just so you know, it isn't wise to openly question Jinan Varun's decisions. You don't want to be accused of heresy. No, it's complicated. Jinan Varun himself established the rules. Let me see if I can make it easy for you. The Speaker has supreme authority. He is the voice of the Great Serpent. The houses each handle some function of daily life and are individually run by the Elder of the House. Each of the houses also appoints a mediary to the High Council to inform and advise the Speaker. It's a separate position from the Elder, with a lesser degree of authority and prestige. Now is hardly the time to be entertaining such thoughts. So you must have a head for politics, or you're good at pretending. Either way, you will fit right in here. Serpent guide you.
Do you know the scientists out at Hamadi Station?
The old married couple? Azad and Shireen, if I remember right. I've met them a few times. They seemed a little eccentric, but were otherwise quite nice.
That's them, yes. They're apparently looking for some help with their research. They made some
Dazra. It was once so beautiful.
By the stars. I wasn't prepared for the sheer scale of it all.
You got your favorite from the meat box? Extra fatty, just the way you like. Do you want to eat it now?
Common fool!
Borhal.
What? What do you want? This does not concern you.
Please accept my apologies. I caught my brother attempting to do something unspeakable, and I could not contain my anger.
Oh yes, go on. Invite a total stranger into our family squabbles.
This is no squabble, you pompous fool. What you have done today is abhorrent. I can forgive stealing my money or pawning my valuables. What I cannot abide, however, is you attempting to some mother's urn with her remains still within.
That is horrible.
I was drunk, I did not know. All of those vases appeared the same.
It is an urn, not a vase, you ignoramus. And you were the one who chose it when Mother passed away. I am tired of your shamelessness, and I am done bearing what should be your indignity. Do you hear me? I am done. You have gone too far this time, Amila, and I cannot bear the humiliation of being your brother any longer. I challenge you to a duel. Danica shall be my second.
What? Are you mad?
Borhal, are you sure? There is already so much death in the city. What good would this do? There has to be another way.
Too late, Danica. He has issued his challenge. I accept. In fact, look forward to it. You shall be my second.
Our job is to make preparations and ensure fairness on both sides. We shall have different duties between the two of us, but our aim is to prepare the site of the duel, weapons, ceremonies, and discourage any ambushes.
No. I believe we have just passed the point of no return.
I would not have proposed the duel unless I were fully committed to it. I am well past the point of compromising.
No, why not you? You seem capable and trustworthy.
The true answer is because Amila has no one, family or otherwise, willing to be his second. He has burned every bridge there is to burn. He will have to resort to picking someone off the street regardless, so it may as well be you.
I do not want to wait any longer than necessary. If you agree to this, you will allow us to come to an immediate resolution. I will pay you handsomely for that. Then it is settled. Outsider, you will work alongside Danica to prepare for the duel. As for you, Amila, enjoy these last few moments. For when we next meet, your shameful life ends.
Do not sound so confident, brother.
Their family home is this way.
I cannot wait to be rid of it.
We can discuss the matters there. You will be working with me. As seconds, it is our duty to prepare for the duel and ensure fairness. I am sorry that you have found yourself in this situation. But know that you are doing Amila a great favor. He truly has no one else who would be willing to do this for him. He has burned every bridge imaginable.
Need help with
It
them?
seems that after years of suffering Amila's embarrassments, Borhall has reached the boiling point. But still, to challenge your brother to a duel... I pray that we will be able to work towards a peaceful resolution before it's too late. Do not let Amila break you down.
I see why Anasco spoke to you. You seem a charitable soul. Greetings.
This is it. Shall we begin our duties? Are you ready to discuss our roles? Oh, they are deadly serious. Borhall would have not dared to challenge Amila if not. The Odlum family has held duels in the past. It is something of a family tradition. Yes, there was a duel between their two great-grandfathers, I believe. From what Borhall has told me, it began as a property dispute. Their uncle died in a duel after being challenged by their grandfather. He was accused of stealing family heirlooms. History, it seems, repeats itself. Yes, and it seems that the cycle will continue. Unless you are able to get the brothers to agree to a peaceful resolution. It is our duty to prepare for the duel by procuring weapons and preparing for any ceremonies, as well as ensuring a fair fight. Importantly, we are not expected to engage in any combat, unless, of course, we are staving off an ambush. In short, we are to guarantee that the duel proceeds without issue. Very good. Let us begin. Your primary duty as Amila's second is to work with the brothers, and see if a peaceful conclusion is possible. Namely, if Amila apologizes to Borehole and he accepts, the duel may not move forward. As for me, I will be procuring the weapons for the duel and the materials for the preceding ceremony. Borehole, as challenger, reserves the right to choose the weapons, and he has chosen blades. Do you have any concerns? I will note your concern, but know that Borehole has the final say. If that is all, we will break here and see to our duties. Before that, though, I know that this duel is foolish. I am sorry you got pulled into this. I will try and find another peaceful solution to this problem, should you be unsuccessful in convincing them to call it off. Amila has the right to deliver a genuine apology to Borehole and stop this duel before it commences. The odds of him doing so, however, are low. The Odlum brothers, like their ancestors, are stubborn and prideful. Duels were quite common 100 years ago, but have become more rare with each passing generation. At this point, the Odlum family is the only one that still takes part in this custom. Speak to the brothers, and inquire if there is any opportunity for a peaceful resolution. Usually, this would require Amila to apologize to Borehole. As unlikely as that would be, though, Borehole can always decline the apology, and the duel will commence. Report back to me when you have spoken with the brothers. We will discuss your secondary duty then.
What is it I need to prepare? I will do no such thing, and will feel no regrets in avenging Amila's constant dishonors. I have given him every chance, every credit. I have begged him to turn himself around. But instead, it has been endless years of dishonor and pain. Damn him. I should have known years ago that this would be the only way things would end. Not at all. I have served my time in the military. Amila's condition made him unfit for service. He may put up a good fight, but I will surely be the victor. Do you think I wanted this to happen? I tried to stop this downward spiral countless times. It was like saving someone from drowning, only for them to leap back into the ocean. Amila refuses to be helped, and he is determined to take me and the family name down with him. There is nothing that could lead me to calling it off. An apology from Amila is worthless. He always falls right back into his old ways. There is no apology grand enough to make up for nearly trading your late mother's remains to fund an addiction. That is inconceivable. It would be if Amila weren't a habitual liar, deceiver, and cheater. As I said before, an apology from him is less than worthless. He has apologized countless times for a decade, only to continue stabbing me in the back. Right. I take no pleasure in this. But after today, what he did, he needs to be dealt with. If that is all, you may take your leave. What is it now? No, you are not my second. I do not see how this is pertinent to your duties. Again, I do not see how this is pertinent. You are just wasting our time. True. I am sure this experience has been confusing for you. If you are sure this will aid you. True. I am sure this experience has been confusing for you. If Danica says so, perhaps there was something I missed. You have made some valid points. I will answer your questions. I do not hate him. I do not love him either. And I can no longer tolerate him. I am sure Amila will spin a tale about his hard life. But the truth is that he has always been a miscreant and a troublemaker. But when Father moved to strike him, who dove in front of the blows? When Mother would not feed him, who sacrificed their food? It was me. It was always me. How does he repay me? He steals my valuables, slanders my name, and brings dishonor on the family. Any affection I had for my brother is long dead. No, Great Serpent, no. I will take no pleasure in his death. However, I may admittedly feel relief. I will mourn the loss of my brother. The brother he used to be, at least. And I will pray that his restless soul finds comfort with the Great Serpent. The Koza ruined him. Once he began living at the bottom of a bottle, everything changed. I am just exhausted by him. It is exhausting to constantly be blamed by him for all of his problems, while always being expected to forgive and help him when he demands. An alcohol made from goat milk. Amila is absolutely dependent on it, and his wife was too. The damn stuff rots your brain, I swear. He has always been a troublemaker. But once the Koza took over, he went from bad to worse. Now he is just an addict and a thief. I will be putting him out of his misery. We were never the closest of brothers, as our personalities are just so different. But we were close enough. He was a free spirit, which irked my parents. Honestly, I respected him a lot. He was unbreakable, even though the world was not always kind to him. He was funny, kind, and he always was trying to cheer me up, even if I had nothing to be sad about. The Emila you know now is not my brother. My brother may as well have died years ago. The Emila walking around today is nothing like what he used to be. I have done everything, and he has left me with nothing. He comes begging for money, so I gave it to him. Then he comes begging for my items to pawn, so I sacrifice them. And then he comes screaming to me that I hate him, that I have done nothing to help him. All of this for a decade now. I would lay by his side every night praying that he would not choke on his own vomit. But in the mornings when I would throw away his bottles of koza, he would fight me like a monster. I used to take such pride in giving to the community, and in using my privileged position to help the less fortunate in the city. But I can no longer do that, as Emila has taken nearly every cent from me. I have sacrificed my entire purpose for living in the hopes that Emila would get better. And he never does. Good luck with everything.
Look who it is. I will not waste your time. I already know what you have come to ask. You wish to inquire if there is any possibility of me apologizing to my brother. The answer is no. The duel shall go forward as planned. Why are you so sure that I will die? I have been in plenty of scraps on the streets, and I am not some sheltered pushover like my brother. You cannot just turn your back on family like Borhall has done to me. And now he wants to kill me. If he wins, I hope the guilt of what he has done will rot him from the inside out. And if I win, it is justice. I have made my choice. If I am to die, so be it, but I am no coward.
Oh, if there's one thing shared by all cultures, it's a place to vent and drink.
What? He is trying to kill me. Why should I be the one to apologize? Borhall likes to paint me as a ne'er-do-well. But what type of psychopath wants to kill their own brother? It is not fair. He should be the one begging for my forgiveness. Fine. But do try to be brief. I would prefer to be alone so that I may enjoy what could very well be my final moments alive. I do not know. Perhaps him challenging me to a duel has something to do with it. Yes. terrified. Do I have something to apologize for? Correct. You are my second, not my acquaintance. I do not wish to speak of these things with you. Huh. No one has ever said anything like that to me before. Or ever cared enough to do so, at least. Go on. Ask your questions again. I had a wife once. I'm not going to flatter myself and pretend that I was a good husband, but I loved her. And she loved me. Appreciated me. Faults and all. I never felt like I had to prove anything to her. When I say to you that she was my world, my everything, I am serious. She was perfect. And somehow, she loved something like me. It was like living in a dream every day. Nearly a decade ago, she and I shared a perfect night. In what I had believed would be a lifetime of perfect nights. But when I kissed her cheek in the morning, my lips froze. She was cold. Stone cold. After my beloved's death, I made one bad decision after another. To Borhal's credit, he was almost always there for me. He even paid for the funeral expenses. But he could not stop me from taking to the bottle, no matter how hard he tried. Eventually, he gave up on me. My own brother. His love and understanding has been replaced with scolding. I am truly alone. If it were Borhal in my stead, I would forgive him, like a brother is supposed to do. Family is family. We are supposed to be there for each other, no matter what. I would never have deigned to challenge him to a duel. He cares more about respect, the family name, honor, everything, except for me. Thank you. But no amount of condolences will bring her back. Because I am furious! My own brother, I cannot make sense of it. Who would challenge their own flesh and blood to a duel? Damn him! Damn him for putting me in this position! Damn him because I know even if I were to apologize, ending this duel before it starts, I will always see someone who would rather me dead when I look at his face! As in, am I physically capable? Perhaps, if the Great Serpent wills it. Am I mentally capable? I believe so. I have never felt this fury within me before. Look at me. Really look at me. Do I appear to be someone that has much to live for? If I die, I die. Nothing to be scared of. Except giving Borhal the satisfaction of taking my life. I suppose the thought has crossed my mind. Maybe it would be better to be dead. I could be with my wife. Well, if the Great Serpent would let me be with her. We're never the most devout in Dasra. I am not sure that I want to die, but there really is not much to live for, is there? But I am not just going to let Borhal end me. I cannot give him that satisfaction. He is trying to kill me. Why should I be the one? Borhall likes to paint me as a ne'er-do-well. It is not fair. You cannot just turn your back on family like Borhall has done to me. And now he wants to kill me. If he wins, I hope the guilt of what he has done will rot him from the inside out. I need a drink after that.
I'm trying to keep strong, but I fear I may be losing my...
All must serve.
Much to do. How did you fare? As predicted, they have been blinded by scorn for one another. But you may still have a chance to halt any bloodshed. Listen to me very carefully. Your final duty as a second is to prepare the ceremonial drinks that the duelists will imbibe prior to the duel. As you are preparing the drinks, you will treat each cup with this tranquilizer. Borhall and Amila will be too weak to fight after drinking this. This duel is idiotic, we both know it. It is a needless loss of life during a crisis where there is already so much death. And the victor will rue his actions for the remainder of his life. You have one final chance to stop this.
How are you so sure that this won't backfire?
I know that it will not. You have to trust me. I know that this way is the only way. That would be tantamount to murder. Theoretically, this should be safe. Very good. Report to me when you are finished. May the Great Serpent aid us.
Another drink will not hurt.
The Great Serpent saved Dazra from sin.
Amila has shamed us for the final time.
Need me for something? Is everything ready? All right. Is everything ready? Goodbye. Is everything ready?
I am sure. If everything is ready, then it is time to move forward. The time has come. Amila, are you sufficiently prepared?
I am ready.
It is time. Nothing we can do now but observe and hope for the best.
To your health, brother. And may the Great Serpent have mercy on your soul, Amila. What? What is this? What have you done to me, Amila?
I am affected as well, dear brother. I did not do this. I can hardly see you in front of me.
What the hell is this? What did you do? What is this? Sabotage!
This duel was an asinine idea, Borhal. We put a stop to it. There is no use for needless bloodshed at times like these. We must come together, not kill one another.
You traitoress. You betray me. And then you lecture me.
Oh, enough of your grousing, Borhal. Your precious duel can wait. Or are you truly so determined to kill me?
Enough of your taunting. This is not over.
I am counting on that.
Remove yourselves. We must rest. But know that you have only delayed the inevitable.
Head's pounding.
Great Serpent.
Could use a bottle of something
Give
right now.
me the strength to do what must be done.
Thank the Great Serpent. You did it. The tranquilizer worked and you saved them both. Thank you for trusting me. What? From the tranquilizer? They will sleep a few days and be fine. I expect. They may suffer a bit, but it is a far better alternative to being stabbed to death. Nonsense. You've made the right choice. Their egos are bruised, but deep down they are both relieved. Come what may, we have narrowly avoided a bloodbath today. If they are stupid enough to try again, we will find another way to stop it. But I doubt that day will come. I have faith that the Great Serpent will open their hearts to each other. He will show them that the pain from the tranquilizer would be dwarfed by humiliation and guilt, had the duel ended in bloodshed. Some of Amila's pessimism seems to have rubbed off on you. I want to thank you. You trusted me, and because of you, the brothers, my friends, are both alive. They are imbeciles, but better people than they seem. I am grateful for you. Please take this. It is admittedly not much compared to what you would have received if one of them had perished, but can you truly put a price on a human life? You are free to go. May the Great Serpent be with you, always.
Great Serpent, please help me. I am terrified.
Harbinger.
If you... How did we end up here?
Yes? Well, look who it is. You have made quite a stir, and given the state of things, that is a singular accomplishment. To what do I owe the honor, Harbinger? At the moment, obviously a great deal of nothing. Have the High Council to thank for that. Politics and expedience rarely pair well. Well. Progress, at last. Then your arrival is even more momentous than I'd believed. I will spare you much of the technical detail, as I confess that pieces of it I barely understand myself. One cannot help but notice the energy field around the Scaled Citadel. Until we can get through it, we cannot shut down the experiment inside, and it has proved quite impossible to get through. We had the beginnings of a plan to build a makeshift contraption to redirect grav drive energy to see if we could penetrate the barrier, but the project came to a halt. Politics got in the way.
This hardly seems like the time for politics to matter.
Every one of the houses needs to contribute, and every one realized they could potentially use it for leverage. What should have been a cooperative effort turned contentious. Easy decisions became negotiations. And so, construction never began. We have sat here, staring at this disaster as supplies pile up for well over a week now. Serpent help us, it is infuriating. The Council just so happens to represent the 3 houses under Varun's banner, who are also entrusted with various aspects of running, well, everything. Each of those houses needs to contribute something to the project, so the Council is the final stopgap. Were the Speaker here, he could bypass all of it with a wave of his hand, but, well, you have already seen the state he's in. Indeed. Oh, I believe I've done enough complaining for now. Time to get to work. If you're here, the Council has likely sent word to the houses that it's time to stop the infighting. I doubt it will be enough. I need to oversee construction here, make sure things are built to specifications. If you could follow up with the houses, that may speed up the process. I appreciate that someone around here is eager to get to work. House Fetal owes us access codes for the city power grid. It's the only way to guarantee enough power to activate the device. House Kadik was supposed to provide a young scientist named Sahima to help me. She had at least some experience with the original Citadel experiment. No idea why they refused to send her. And Hasmek, the new elder of House Dulkef, he has been distant, guarded. He claims to have vital information about an important component of the experiment, but has withheld it until now. Help me get what we need, and we will see what we can do for the Speaker, and for House Varun. And I may have something that can help you in whatever trials the Serpent puts before you as we navigate this. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. I know. I have lost friends and colleagues myself. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. I do hope you are not questioning the thoroughness of my research. I assure you, they will work. The process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffice, if you have the materials. And, depending on how you combine said materials, you may find the results to be somewhat variable. I hope you can use that to your advantage. Not enough to have prevented it from happening. If I had any idea it was going to turn out like this, It had been Inasco's primary goal for some time. A way to recreate Jinan Varun's encounter with the Great Serpent. Everything we knew about grav drive technology, every scientific advancement we'd made in the last 100 years was poured into it. Towards the end, I was just so exhausted. I asked for a brief time off. Had I not, I would be trapped in there with the rest of the science team. Yes, I am sure that is how some would see it. I left the project weeks before the disaster, and at that point, we were nowhere near ready. Some breakthroughs were made shortly thereafter, and they ran the experiment. And here we are. Just look around. I'm sure you have at least some idea of how much we have physically lost. A huge portion of the city is just gone. And those left behind are struggling. Supplies are limited. There is so much work to be done, and we are all just so tired. I hope that eventually we can return things to the way they were, but we must be realistic. That will take time, and I suspect a great deal of it. Yes, depending on how much trouble you're getting into. We have been nearly overwhelmed with all that has happened over the last few weeks, but I have still spent some time doing my own research when I can. These phantoms, the vortex. Fascinating subject, really. If only there were some less disastrous way we could have discovered all this. Well, then you are in luck. We have encountered several interesting phenomena. First, while the phantoms shift to a fully human form when killed, they often retain small shards that appear to be an almost crystallized version of vortex energy. Second, we have learned that killing the phantoms sometimes causes an even greater disturbance. Horrors, as they have been colloquially termed, can appear from somewhere. We are unsure of their origin, but it is not within our universe. These horrors and their spawn are infested with cysts, a seemingly organic manifestation of vortex energy. We have managed to collect enough to run experiments and have devised a method of combining them into an explosive mixture with varying properties. While they have no use in the development of the morning device, if you find yourself out in the field, I believe they could have more practical applications. This is hardly the time to be turning down additional options. I am simply providing you with the information. If you choose to ignore it, the process is simple enough that any industrial workstation should suffer. And depending on how you combine said material.
What do you want?
I've things for you.
Great Serpent, watch over you.
This is exactly the impression we don't want to give.
Please, Jamal. Don't you see how all this works in our favor? It's not up for discussion. I won't risk what we've worked so hard to achieve. It's done.
No, you'd risk our future and reputation as a house. But you are the chosen elder.
Ah, don't patronize me. The Great Serpent spared our house. We are favored here. And shouldn't you get back to the council? We can't afford to be absent at a time like this.
I guarantee I'm not missing much. But you're right. I'll be heading back soon enough. Yes?
So, Ekris has sent our newest harbinger to inquire about Sahima. Don't worry. Jamal's already told me all about you. I'm Razma, Elder of House Kadik and head of the Ministry of Conjunction. Well, it's also an honor to meet one as interesting as yourself. I wouldn't have suspected an outsider to be made promised. But who am I to argue with the Great Serpent's choice? If only it were that simple. I know the Council is looking to Sahima for answers, but the truth is, she's been taken, along with other members of the House. They're being held hostage by zealots, and now they're demanding negotiations.
Taking hostages and negotiating? Doesn't sound like the zealots we're used to.
As much as I'd welcome the expertise, the zealots would never allow an outsider to participate. But the negotiations aren't where I need assistance. The zealots have yet to name specifics. At best, they'll demand an inordinate amount of credits or firearms. Worst case, a seat at the High Council or even the reinstatement of their house. House Malene. They know we can't risk Sahima for Dazra's sake. So, they won't hold back when it comes to demands. They had a house. House Malene was abandoned a long time ago, but there are some who'd want to see it reinstated. House Malene was fully dedicated to Jandar Varun. They objected when his brother, Jarek, was chosen to take over as leader. They knew he would bring an end to the Serpent's Crusade. It's why they abandoned their house and became the zealots you know today, to continue what they believe is Jinan and Jandar's work. Jinan Varun had twin sons, Jarek and Jandar. Jandar fully supported the Serpent's Crusade, and to many in House Malene, was the best suited to take over for his father. Yes, and it's exactly why I need the upper hand in these negotiations. I need you to find the hostages. Bring them home, so the zealots have nothing to leverage, and Sahima can work with the High Council. Normally, I'd have agents doing everything possible to find them. But we too suffered losses. We need to be here, present. I couldn't risk more lives. It's the only reason I even agreed to these negotiations. But now that you're here, I can finally take action. Of course. But the negotiations offered a chance to get Sahima and the others back without putting lives at risk. I saw the chance and had to take it. As demanding as I'd expected the zealots to be, I fully intended to do everything in my power to bring them within reason. I couldn't have put it better myself. However, there's still one unanswered question. I don't know where the zealots are keeping Sahima, but I have a good idea who does. Their name is Merrick. Merrick is a Kadik, and they also work for me as an agent in the Ministry of Conjunction. This is where matters get complicated. As I said, Merrick works for me in the Ministry of Conjunction. They've been establishing an inside relationship with the Zealots for some time now. On my orders. Forcing them to give up the information could jeopardize all they've worked for. So don't expect them to be forthcoming. Get the information any way you see fit. As long as no physical harm comes to them.
I certainly hope it wouldn't come to that.
Merrick is proud of what they've accomplished, so I doubt they'll give up information easily. If being persuasive isn't your strong suit, perhaps appealing to their substantial ego may help. If you can stomach it. Just don't
be direct. I'm sure it would put them on the defensive. Either that, or make them completely unwilling to talk. What better way to surveil a threat? It's important for us to know what the Zealots may be targeting, to stay one step ahead. The people of Dazra look to us elders for strength and guidance. We cannot fail them at a time like this. Don't let my composure fool you, promised? It's neither easy, nor something I take lightly. The Zealots don't trust easily. If their location was discovered, Merrick would most likely be the first they'd suspect. They'd never trust them or any agent of House Kadik again. See that you do. You'll find Merrick upstairs in the meditation room.
You're no member of House Kadik. What are you doing here? Oh, so you're the heretic turned harbinger who thinks they're one of us now. So, tell me, what would a chosen one such as yourself want with someone like me? Perhaps you need to lay off the Koza, my friend. You're talking nonsense. Absolutely ridiculous. So much for confidentiality. I guess this means the High Council is still asking Auntie Razma where Sahima is. And if you're here making demands, she obviously has decided to make use of you rather than undergo sincere negotiations. I see what's going on here. On the contrary, I know how important it is to keep that information confidential. I've worked hard to obtain my position with the Zealots. And like I've told Razma 1,000 times, I have no reason to believe they're going to hurt my dear cousins, especially Sahima. So, as far as I'm concerned, that information stays with me. You make a good point, for an outsider. And perhaps I should take your presence here as a sign. The location you're looking for is Shadow Station Epsilon. It's an old Varun base that they've taken over for themselves. Razma will know it. Let her tell you the details, seeing as how I'm about to be reassigned. Isn't the answer obvious? The Zealots will know the location came from me. All that hard work thrown out the window because someone refuses to undergo negotiations. It better.
You must have gotten the location. I figured they wouldn't be completely forthcoming. If my intel is correct, you can find Shadow Station Epsilon in the Badlands, north of Dazra. I can send you the coordinates. Shadow Station Epsilon is one of many Zealot bases scattered throughout. As I mentioned before, I wasn't willing to risk agent lives in order to scout them all. If anything happens to the hostages, they will lose a lot more than leverage.
Don't worry. If anyone can bring those hostages back safely, it's us.
Now that we have a rescue mission underway, I'll speak to Merrick about setting up the negotiations. I expect them to be pliable after their last encounter with you. The current plan is to hold them at one of the geothermal power stations. Meet us there when Sahima and the others are safe. If memory serves, it's southeast of Shadow Station Epsilon. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It's a fairly neutral location, and just the right distance from Dazra, so both parties will feel safe. The geothermal... Good. Serpent willing. Your timing will line up. I'll stall the Zealots as long as I can, which shouldn't be an issue. That being said, I'd still appreciate it if you could act quickly. Now, Jamal wants an update before you leave. Just don't let her distract you for too long.
Harbinger, a word before you go. Tell me, Harbinger, what do you know about the Zealots? An oversimplified observation, but correct nonetheless. The Zealots are widely frowned upon within our society. They're a remnant of the Serpent's Crusade, days we'd like to forget. Has my dear sister given you any history on our house's relations with the Zealots? I see. Should have expected as much. Razma would have everyone believe she only wishes to keep an eye on the Zealots, so the Council can make informed decisions. The truth is, she's had this particular group of Zealots under her thumb for quite some time. This is only a problem now because she's lost control. That is the real reason why Razma hasn't informed the High Council, and I'm sworn to silence.
I don't see how anyone could sympathize with such fanatics, let alone work with them.
Does it? I'd be curious to know what you've discussed. House Kadik already has a reputation for being sympathetic to the Zealots, but the truth is far worse. Razma wants the Zealots to back House Kadik, so the balance of power between the noble houses would shift to us. She's been employing them, paying them in supplies that aid their blind crusade. Razma would believe they want to reintegrate or even re-establish House Maleen, and she's a fool for it. The Zealots want nothing but the means to carry out their war. Credits, weapons, and ships. And these very supplies would be used to harm not only your people, but our own as well. There are several members who are sympathetic toward them or their cause. Some see beyond their extremist veneer and believe they're just misguided. A very small few may believe Jandar truly was the rightful heir, but none would ever admit it. I'm certain it's the case that members of the other houses feel the same. House Kadik is just the only one who's been exposed for it. It's not for everyone. What none of us expected was the disaster that is the Scaled Citadel. The aftermath is what allowed the Zealots to grab Sahima and the others, flipping the balance of power in their favor. Razma has lost control and is putting House Kadik's reputation and power at risk. And that's what I wish to speak to you about. House Khadik shouldn't be associating with zealots at all, except on an extermination level. But worse, we absolutely cannot be supplying them with ordnance of any kind. We need to cut ties with the zealots altogether. Exposing this information to the council would condemn not only Rasma, but House Khadik along with her. I've no wish to tarnish our house or ruin my sister. I simply want to show her the error of her ways. Far from it. I want you to put an end to any connections between House Khadik and the Zealots. And while my position won't allow me to be blunt, I'll still make it clear. Should the hostages not survive, Rasma would blame the Zealots and cut all ties.
And I thought zealots were bad. Now I'm not sure what disgusts me more.
What we need is Sahima's research, which she has with her. You just need to bring it back. I see I misjudged you. How unfortunate for us all. Well, should you change your mind, the offer still stands. And Harbinger, this conversation stays between us. A shame Anasco's chosen has failed to see the bigger picture. I wish it were the case. This is an ongoing point of contention with my sister, and it never changes. Rasma and I come to agreement, something happens that makes her reconsider, and we're right back where we started. This is why extreme measures are necessary. Only something truly horrible will force her eyes to remain open. I was on a walk, nearing Jinan Plaza. My view of the Citadel was clear. I saw the windows flood with light and then a flash so bright, I was forced to turn away. When I turned back, my eyes saw only a swirl of energy surrounding the Citadel and the crater that surrounded it. Rasma and I are normally quite agreeable. We've always been like-minded ever since we were young. It's the reason we were groomed for the positions we currently hold. The Zealots are what divide us, much like they divide our house as a whole. What do you want to know? The oversimplified answer is yes. The two may be synonymous, but house politics will always take precedent. House Khadik is a symbol, a noble house, and its members are held to a higher standard with greater responsibility. Rasma and I are normally quite agreeable. We've always been. It's the reason we were groomed for the positions we currently. The Zealots are what divide us, much like they divide our house as a whole. We use similar tactics to navigate the complex waters of Varun society. But most importantly, we share the same ideologies when it comes to House Khadik and the people of Dazra. There is no progress without change, and Dazra stagnates in old tradition. Perhaps your arrival in the Scaled Citadel incident, awful as it was, will serve as a catalyst to finally advance our society. Many within the Ministry of Conjunction are aware of the division. They wouldn't be good envoys otherwise. And yes, it does affect them. When you aren't united, the cracks begin to show. The dissidence grows. Rumors begin to circulate and trust is called into question. Our envoys should know better. But that's how we ended up with the current narrative that House Kadik is sympathetic toward the Zealots. I remember it well. Zealots attacked a Highlands growth farm. A weapon left behind was one used in payment for a recent operation. Razma could accept it as collateral damage. I could not. An innocent family died that day. And it opened my eyes to the greater consequences of working with Zealots. Harbinger. Your lack of vision may cost hundreds their lives. I'd ask that you I wish it were the case. Razma and I come to agree. This is why extreme... Razma and I are normally quite agreeable. It's the reason we were groomed for... The Zealots are what divided. What do you want to know? Until next time.
Let me know when you're ready to launch. Something for you when you have a moment.